What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are crushing your moonshots today. Happy Monday. I don't normally do this. I don't normally get on my Instagram story and make a video like this, but there's something that's been weighing heavily on my mind and on my heart lately. And so I wanted to get on here and talk about it. And I made a post on my last story about it, how the more big decisions and big risks and scary decisions that I make in my life and chase after, the more that statement becomes true, that everything that I want in my life is on the other side of having a hard conversation that I don't want to have. And everybody has a different chapter, and this is something that I've learned. And I didn't have the chapter of being a 17, 18, 19-year-old entrepreneur and founding a $16 million company at 18 years old. I didn't have the opportunity to do that. I am grateful that I was blessed to be able to get into sales and get into the right rooms with some high-level people that really set me up to learn a lot of different things and become the man that I'm becoming right now. And I'm very grateful for that. But here's what I've learned is that I don't have anything to show. I'm 21 years old and I don't have a company yet that's worth $100 million yet. But the more I look back on some of the decisions that I make, I'm starting to realize that the reason why I'm going to win is because I am willing to take more risks than any other person on the planet. Number one, I don't really believe in the concept of risks because to me, it didn't make sense. The worst case scenario that could happen, like absolute worst, is I'll end up on a buddy's couch eating peanut butter sandwiches, right? Really not that bad, right? And obviously the extreme of it is I'll be dead. And if I'm dead, then I'm dead. So nothing else will matter anyway and I won't care, right? And I know that sounds extreme, but if you know me, you know that I'm extreme. And so what I've come to realize is that the reason I'm going to win is because of the risks that I'm willing to take. A few of the risks that I've taken, I dropped out of college assuming that I was gonna have to go out and live on my own with no money. I had $0 in the bank and I would have to go live on my own. I dropped out of college. I moved across the country twice. I grew up in like a very almost cult-like religion and I told my parents I no longer believed in that religion. That was a tough conversation, right? I then moved across the country 2 times and then quit my dream job working for a company that I loved to go out and pursue a business idea that I just thought of by having a conversation with one person. And then now I have to have another difficult conversation I'm not going to get into, which is again cutting off another safe opportunity that most of the people would take and jump on. And I am now shutting it down for something that is completely unknown and completely uncertain. And I'm going all in on it. And so this isn't about me or this isn't about why I'm willing to win, but it's just the fact that I don't have anything right now. I don't have evidence, right? We talk about evidence and my chapter, yes, there are people that are ahead of me. There are people that are 21 already making millions of dollars. My chapter is a little bit different. I'm not comparing my timeline to anybody else's. And so when I try to look at some of the evidence that I have, other than my physical body, right? It's very, very hard as a 21-year-old to show that I have evidence. And so when you talk this kind of talking, even though it's my identity of I'm this kind of entrepreneur and my goals are to hit this big and this amount of money and build this size company, etc., it just sounds like a bunch of fanboy talk in the beginning, right? It doesn't really sound like a real person. No one takes you seriously because you have nothing to show for it, right? There's no evidence, and rightfully so. And so I've searched for the question of like, where do you find confidence when you have no evidence? And I understand the cycle that confidence is built from evidence. If you don't have it, go build it, and then you'll get the confidence, etc. I get that, right? But in this context, like it's very easy to say, go out and build a $100 million company. That shit takes time, right? It takes a decade, right? So it's like, what I realized is what I have in my cookie jar, as David Goggins puts it, in my toolbox, is the risks that I've been willing to take. And it's like, I'm really willing to go all in, to sacrifice everything, put my back against the wall. For those of you that don't know me and you're seeing this for the first time, my name is Evan. I'm a 21-year-old college dropout. And I'm being fully transparent here because I got no shame. I really have no shame. I have $5,000 in the bank account in 6 months to take a business from nothing to me making money. After that, I have nothing. Like, I have no way of even putting food on the table for myself. And I know that that's extreme, and I'm being fully transparent with all of you guys just so you can see the situation that I'm in, where I have to make this work. And the cool thing about putting my back against the wall is it gives me no other choice. And to go back to the point of having difficult conversations, The reason why I'm getting better at having these hard conversations and having them quicker is because I have no other fucking choice. I have no other choice but to have these conversations. And that's one of my favorite quotes of all time is when you have no other choice but to succeed, your chances of success are pretty freaking good, right? If someone's gonna either drown or they have to learn how to swim for the first time, they'll probably learn how to swim or they'll die, right? And so it's like, this is me throwing myself into the pool, into the ocean to learn how to swim for the first time. And what I love is a quote that I heard, that success is biting off more than you can chew and then learning how to chew it along the way. And that's what I'm doing. I've been off a crazy amount more than I can chew, but I'm learning how to chew it along the way, and I love this. And so this is for anybody out there that's like struggling to make a big decision, or there's a conversation that you know you need to have. And honestly, this is just for me to kind of make me feel better and for me to look back on, because I have to have a really difficult conversation that's going to change a lot of things. Hopefully it won't change that much, but it might change everything. And I don't know. And there's no way for me to know until I have the conversation. And so this is like the second or third conversation that's really difficult, that's extremely risky, that I've had to have in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And what I realized is the more that I level up, the more of these conversations I'm going to have. And this is God giving me the opportunity to get better at it, to build that skill, right? And that's what learning is. Same condition, new behavior. And how quickly someone learns, meaning how quickly someone is in the same condition and switches their behavior, that's how smart you are. That's the measure of intelligence. And so that's where I'm in right now, where I was in the same situation literally 2 weeks ago, not even. And I had to have this conversation, and it took me 2 weeks to build up the courage to have a difficult conversation. And I did it, and I was so grateful that I did it. And it's the same thing right now, except this time I realized earlier today that I needed to have this conversation. And I've already sent the message asking if we can jump on a phone call to actually have that conversation. And so this is just a little bit rant. Again, I don't normally do this, but this is something that, as you can probably tell, has been weighing on me. It's been weighing on my heart, that the more and more big moves that I take, I realize that my superpower is that I'm willing to risk everything. And I mean everything. I am willing to sleep in a car, not having clothes, to make my dreams happen. I would rather do that than work for somebody else. Genuinely. And I say that out of love for everybody. I say it out of love. And so Hormozi talks about, you know, when he was building his business, when he was building his company, he didn't have the mindset, I will outwork everyone. He had the mindset that instead he will out-sacrifice anyone, that he was willing to give up more than any other person was willing to give up. And I like that flip. And for me, I think this is my flip on it, is that it's not that I'm willing to outwork anybody or I'm willing to sacrifice more than everybody. It's I'm willing to risk more than everybody. I'm willing to make the decisions, make the moves that nobody else would make. And here's the thing, it's because I'm 21. I got no kids. I'm single. I have no responsibilities. I'm not in school. I have nothing except building the life that I want to live. And here's the crazy part about it. It's that if I'm chasing it, at least it's possible for it to happen. Like all of these dreams, all of these thoughts, and this might send me on a much longer rant, but all of these thoughts, all of these dreams are so real. Your imagination, this is a quote that changed my life. This is the one quote that changed my entire life. Your imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions. That's the quote. It is God showing you what he has for you in your life. When you go to a movie and you see the preview of a movie that's coming, you get to see glimpses of it. And then you go and you watch the movie and that's what you see. It's the same thing. Your imagination, what you see in here, if you keep imagining yourself being rich, driving a Lamborghini, being in great shape, doing all this different stuff, it's because that's what God has for you in your mind. And so if you don't go after that, the guarantee is it will never happen. And I would always rather, I live by this. I have 5 core principles that I live by. And this is one of them. I would rather leave it all out on the table and fail miserably and have died trying, genuinely died trying. I'd rather die being completely broke, sleeping in a car, knowing that I at least tried and gave everything that I had to making my dreams a reality, than if I were to not even try and not go after. And so that's why I'm willing to risk everything. And I'm not talking about it. And this is what I realize is this is my evidence, is that this is the truth. This isn't me just talking about it. This is stuff that I've done. I've risked everything to go all in on a complete uncertain possibility with just the faith that I know that I'm going to make it happen. With me and with God's help, it's going to freaking happen. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I know that it will happen. And honestly, I just know that I'm not going to stop until it does. So there's only two scenarios. Either it's going to happen and yay, I win, or I'll be dead, in which case I'm fine with that because I would have died trying. And I would rather die trying than live with the question of what if. And so the more risks I take, the more I realize that's my evidence and that's why I'm going to win. It's not that I will outwork everyone. It's not that I will out-sacrifice anyone. It's that I will out-risk everyone. And so this is just a little bit of a rant to say that, look, I don't have much to show for it right now. I don't have the Lamborghini yet. I don't have a big company yet. I don't have a fancy watch yet. I do the best that I can to fix me, to develop the person. But what I do have is this. And there are two things that I started at as a young age that's set me down this path. And it's the fact that I genuinely, with every cell in my body, believe that anything is possible. Anything. Genuinely. If someone else did it, then I, Evan, can do it. Period. And number two is I think big. I live by this. It takes no more energy to say Rolls Royce than it does to say Toyota. Period. It's just which one you decide to choose. Same thing in business. As an entrepreneur in life, it's the same amount of stress, the same amount of struggle to build a $10 billion company as it is to build a $2 million company. It's just which problem are you choosing to solve? And I understood that from a young age. And so I would rather set my goal to be worth $90 billion and fail and miss it and only end up at $500 million than set a goal to be a millionaire and have $1 million in the bank. That's not the life that I want. So anyway, this is just for me. Honestly, if this helps you, awesome. I really appreciate it. Or rather, I'm really thankful for that. But this is just some of the things that I've been thinking through. Something that's on my heart lately is that the more moves that I make, the bigger things that I chase after, the more of these difficult conversations that I'm needing to have, and the more that I realize that everything that I want is on the other side of these difficult conversations, and that the quicker that I can go from thought to action, and that part in between of having to build up the courage to pull the trigger, the quicker that I could just make the decision, pull the trigger, have the conversation, and move on, the quicker that I could actually start going after the life that I want. And so that's going to be it for this little rant. This was way longer than I expected it to be. I don't know if I'm going to post this on my Instagram or on my story or on my YouTube or where I'm going to post this, or even if I'm just going to keep it for me. But this was just for me to look back on that everything that I want in life is on the other side of having these conversations. And I have no evidence right now that I am the person that I know that I am. But my evidence is the fact that I'm literally willing to put everything on the line. Like, people don't understand. I don't have a way to pay for fucking food if this doesn't work. Like, I will starve if this does not work. Think about that. So if someone else is out there and you're half in, half out, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're like thinking like, oh, I'm going to try and see if this works, or let me dip my toe in and see what it's like, you're going to fucking lose. Like, I'm going to beat you because I don't have a choice. If this doesn't work, I don't eat, right? And so that's also helped me to build confidence in myself because I know who I am. And sometimes, honestly, it takes me being in a position like that for me to really bring out my true self. And for me to bring out that killer inside of me, it takes my back being up against the wall. And when it's not, it's really hard for me to bring that out. But when I need to, it comes out. And so that's the situation that I'm in right now. And that's why it's easier for me to have a hard conversation. And not even that it's easier, honestly, it's less difficult because that I get stronger, right? It's the Jim Rohn of, hey, you don't get weaker, you just get stronger or something. Oh, don't wish for it to be easier, wish you were better. That's what I'm going through right now, where it's not any easier to have this kind of a conversation that I need to have, but I'm getting stronger and I can feel it. And so this is just for me to document it because the more big moves that I take, the more risks that I take, the more that I'm realizing that everything that I want is on the other side of making a scary, big freaking decision and having a difficult conversation. And the quicker that I can do that and the better I can do that and move on, the better it is and the easier that it's going to be for me to achieve my dreams. And that's what I'm going after. And so that's all that I have because I don't have any other option but to succeed. And this is what the real looks like. So this was obviously a way longer rant than I intended, but that's going to be it for this one. So if you're thinking about doing something and you want to go chase your dreams, freaking do it, dude. Like, go after it. Do it. You only got one life. And honestly, we don't know what happens. I'm 21 years old. I can die tomorrow. I can get hit by a car, God forbid, and I'm dead. And if I were to never gone out and at least tried to do this thing, like, I would get upset with that, bro. I'd have regret. And I hate the feeling of regret. I hate it. I will never have regret in my life, ever. If there's anything that I think I want to do before I die, I will 100% do it, no matter the consequences. Obviously, assuming it's moral, right? So anyway, that's it for this one. That's going to be my little rant. I hope this was entertaining. I hope maybe somebody got some value out of this. If not, this was just for me to document. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, Rob.